Hello there.
General Kenobi.
Well, I hope it doesn't take too long. So uncivilized.
That's good. You've taken your first step into a larger world.
Rest in peace, this opening.
Yeah, rest in peace. Well, until season two, because that's probably happening. Because God forbid you get a cash cow and then you make steaks out of it. Of course, we're gonna continue to feed the cow that is making unnecessary content with legacy characters. What is up, everybody? It is your boy. It's Con. Sitting here
back
to wrap up Kenobi, which I actually didn't mind it. I know look, I gotta be a little controversial. That's not the word. Anyway, sitting to my left. Yes. What's up? The casual kid.
AKA Jordan.
There it is. And sitting below, the face tracking is moving your camera. Oh, what's up, Justin?
What's up, guys?
And report is true.
Boiling over with energy right now.
Reporting from the coldest, lifeless outpost. I'm not even gonna say it. It's Tyler. You can say it.
It's Tyler, but your boy is the Star Wars Cynic, as I prefer
There it is.
refer to as.
Dark
Thanks for having me again.
Yeah. Guys, tonight on the 137th episode of Con's Cantina, we are going to be wrapping up Kenobi, talking about how we felt about the show, things like favorite characters, favorite scenes, our overall rating, what we liked, what we didn't like, and if we are going to be having a season 2, all that sort of stuff. Guys, you already know Patreon. Thank to each and every single one of our Patreons for supporting us every single month. Head over to patreon.com/ConConsCantina, where you can find exclusive content. Feel that FOMO. Go over there and for just $3.
Death Road to Canada. You gotta watch them.
We got Death Road to Canada. We got video games. We're playing. Jordan is playing with all the Patreon members on video games. Yep.
Smart.
Go ahead, Jordan. Yeah, tell them about it.
So we are currently having a run where I put all the Patreon members into Death Road to Canada and us hosts, and so we're trying to survive getting through the Death Road. So this first run is a lot of fun, but I'm going to do a second one. So if you want to be a part of that second run, join our Patreon. You'll get to be a randomized character, and it's been a lot of fun. So definitely make sure you go check out our Patreon information. There'll be a link in the description below. As always.
The dogs were going crazy. I had to go shut the door.
We have a lot of awesome exclusive episodes too on some things we don't cover, some Marvel stuff that's came out, and we do that all on Patreon. At least right now, that's what we've been doing covering it on.
Yep. Too much to cover all in one. So that is the easiest way to do it, is doing it through Patreon. And it gives us more to talk about. We have done, again, like Justin said, Moon Knight. We have not talked about Miss Marvel. I don't know if we
need to.
Are going to. I haven't watched episode 1 yet. Yeah.
Highly. I mean, it's the highest rated MCU show right now. I mean, as far as the fans, they're being stupid, review bombing it for silly reasons, but it is truly a great, unique Marvel show. I love it so far.
Well, guys, if Patreon is... Yeah, well, we're going to get there. If Patreon is not your gig, guys, totally understand. One way that you can support this podcast is sharing, liking, leaving a review. As always, if you leave a review that makes us laugh, we will send you a t-shirt. You want one of these tri-blend Cantina shirts, okay? The softest shirts in the galaxy. Yes. You would think that Bantha scrotum is more like leather. It's not. It's more like cotton.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yep.
Very
it's
soft.
nice. Yeah, very soft. Guys, of course, we are a Cantina podcast. So we're going to go into the Cantina right now.
Welcome to Con's Cantina. What are you having? But remember, no droids.
I forgot that I'm using NVIDIA Broadcaster,
Mm-hmm.
so it's not going to pick up the cork pop, which is a little depressing. But anyway, tonight, you know, I asked if I had this on the podcast before. Eagle Rare, a very, very coveted bottle of bourbon. You know, I think it's a little overhyped. If you can definitely... Yeah, here it is. Yeah, definitely overhyped in Florida. In other states, you can just get it. I mean, it's like water on the shelf. Like it's everywhere. Florida, it is difficult. You know, some of us have our honey holes where we find it on the regular. On the nose, it's very, very caramel. It's very, very sweet. And the last time I was drinking Eagle Rare neat, I did not care for it. I actually thought that it was very, very earthy. So this has probably been 2 years or so since I've had Eagle Rare. I just opened this bottle tonight.
Nice.
Hate it. Too earthy.
No, I don't think it's
Too
earthy anymore.
Tastes like mud.
No, you know, Justin, what's my usual complaint when it comes to whiskeys? What do I want more of?
You want a high proof. Strong.
I want a high proof. The flavor is good. There's no burn on the back end. 6 out of 10. Definitely, I would drink it neat. I would not mix it. I definitely think that this would be neat and neat only. And you know, Justin, we're a sucker for labeling and the little like etching on the bottle. Man, it's sick.
Simple.
It's sick.
It's simple, neat, and clean.
Yeah.
But I like it.
It reminds me of
Embodies the
Elvish.
American spirit with that eagle, you know.
America. Whiskey. Yeah. Yeah, 6 out of 10. Definitely overhyped, but if you can get it at retail, which retail should be anywhere from $30 to $38, I would never spend anything more than $38 for this. Very, very good.
Agree.
6 out of 10.
Nice.
Jordan?
I made a cocktail tonight. This was a recipe my wife sent over to me. It's literally called a Campari margarita with orange juice.
Ooh.
I prefer to call it a Tatooine sunrise.
Oh, okay.
Hey.
It's Campari, silver tequila, lime juice, orange juice, a little simple syrup, and it is delicious.
I love that we're all slurring already, and they're just...
It's been a long day.
Yeah, it's been a long day.
I feel like we do that every single week.
It's been a long day.
Yeah, no,
we need vacations.
No, yeah.
Word.
I like the cocktail a lot. It just has it's too sweet. I pared down the simple syrup, but because of the sweetness of orange juice, it's still too sweet. Other than that, it's fantastic. It's solid 7. It is a solid
Nice.
7 out of 10. Would recommend.
Jay Breezy?
Well, I literally got home 5 minutes before we started to record, so I did not have time to make anything fancy or delicious. So I am just drinking a draft Amberbock because it was in my kegerator and easy to pour. So it's nothing special. It's 8 out of 10 all day. It's fantastic.
Follow me. Follow me on this train of thought.
What's that?
I love thinking that Justin obviously paid for this keg. But when he gets home and he pours that beer, it's free. It's free. It's completely free. I didn't pay for it. Oh, free beer. Free beer. Not free, but anyway. All right, Cynic. What are you drinking?
So today I'm drinking Cosmic Crown from Cigar
Beer
City
as
Brewing.
cold as his takes.
Yes.
Yes.
So Cosmic Crown is a Belgian-style strong golden ale. So it's a bit closer to a darker beer, I guess you say. I love it. I love golden ales, wheat ales. Not an IPA guy. They're as disgusting as the sequel trilogy. They should be spit out.
Oh my gosh. Stop. This guy already.
Crisp, refreshing. I love it. And the reason it's a strong golden ale is it's a 9% beer. And it fits the theme tonight because it's brewed with Galaxy hops. So the best Galaxy hops from Kessel.
What's the rating for it?
Yeah, what's the rating?
Rating, I would give it a solid 8.5 out of 10.
Ooh, 8. Oh, okay, hang on. Hold.
It's 8 Jedi, 1 youngling.
Yeah, okay, there we go. Yeah.
8 Jedi and 1 Padawan would leave exile for this
Yes.
beer.
Or it was 8 Jedi and Darth Maul. That's the half. Yeah.
Yeah. 10
You
Rivas would leave exile for this beer.
10 Rivas would leave exile. Justin, I'll have to talk to you about this later because I don't want to.
What is that?
Okay, come on.
You went to Toll Road.
Come on.
Toll Road.
Of course.
Cream ale.
Come on.
Nice cream ale. Yeah.
Come on.
Okay.
So I'm gonna get this out of the way. We're getting put up. We're getting put up in Toll Road. Okay, we're getting put up in Toll Road because I found out some.
Now?
Yep. I found out some details about somebody encroaching on my watering hole, and we've talked about those details. And let's just say that those sips of water have not been as fruitful as promised. So, you have any idea what I'm talking about?
Of course.
No, you don't. Exactly. Oh my God. Okay. Yeah. Listen. All right. Do we want to get in the controversy now, or do we want to just go with the outline? Because I feel like the controversy will be fun.
Controversy sells. I mean,
controversy does sell. So what I mean by controversy,
don't bring it up.
Controversy is Tyler. You did not like Kenobi.
I wouldn't say I didn't like it. I would say that the last 2 episodes saved its collective bacon, as it were. If it did not end on a strong note, it would have been in Book of Boba Fett territory, and nobody wanted that result for such a anticipated show.
It's fair. I think that's
fair.
Very fair.
Yeah.
My overall rating for the show is going to be a 7 out of 10. Just some of my if we go by if you rate every single episode, the median is 7 out of 10. Episodes 5 and 6 were very, very strong. There were some other ones that weren't strong, but I will still die on the hill that we need no more context with legacy characters. And if we do have context with legacy characters, it is a Mandalorian cameo. It is making a couple of fanboys lose their mind because the worst character in all of Star Wars shows up and swings his lightsaber for a couple of seconds. That's all we need. No more Skywalkers. No more Kenobi. No more. Again, I enjoyed the show. I like the show. No more.
Yeah, I have to agree there.
It honestly makes me afraid of the Ahsoka show because she might not be a legacy character as far as like OG trilogy legacy character, but she has such a massive following and a very hardcore fan base that I feel like that could possibly be in the same water as Book of Boba Fett and Obi-Wan, because people have too many formed opinions going into it of what they deserve to see.
But there's a big difference between Book of Boba Fett, Kenobi, and the Ahsoka show.
Yeah, I think Ahsoka, I wouldn't say she has a clean slate, but she has an 80% slate you can work with. Kenobi, he's boxed in, by Revenge of the Sith, New Hope, his death. There's only so much they can do with the character in exile, because it's not like he should be taking a stroll every 2 weeks to rescue the Princess of Alderaan. Ahsoka, she's not part of the Jedi Order. There's so much more leeway. She was in Rebels. You got 35 years between Return of the Jedi and Rise of Skywalker where she's confirmed to be dead. So that's a lot to play with for originality. So I think Ahsoka should be okay, but I get where the hype comes in, kind of like Kenobi, and you don't want to be disappointed. So let's hope they do well.
I do think the Andor show is going to be the banger, just like Mandalorian was, because nobody's going to have any expectation
I was thinking
going
that
into
too,
it.
Justin. Yeah, low expectations equals jumping over the bar.
I got high expectations for Andor, and I still think that show's going to slap, because it's going to be 007, like spy thriller stuff. But the difference that I was saying between Obi and Book of Boba Fett and Ahsoka is Jon Favreau has his promotion coming up with Andor, and Ahsoka. So with his promotion, he's executive producing absolutely everything, which I think will make a huge difference.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well, go ahead, Jordan.
Oh, no. I agree with all of those points. And if, it was hard sledding watching this week to week. I think being able to watch it all in one go made it better. But like you guys said, the end saved it. Them adding something from, canon and correcting something, not correcting, but clarifying canon, was probably one of the biggest points of the entire show. And, solid 7 out of 10. Like my drink.
What about you, Tyler? If you had to give it out of 10.
So I just added up my episode ratings and did an average for the whole show, and I got a mean of 5.83. But as cynical as I am, I'm feeling a bit generous, so let's round that up to a 6.
We have to round it up to a 6. That's basic math. We have to.
5.8 if I want. Okay, it's my rating scale, not yours.
I was about to say, you're like, I'm feeling generous. I'll make it a 5.9.
This guy is like IGN in the 90s.
5.83 Padawans would leave exile for this show.
Yeah.
I don't know what I give it, man. I think I'm probably on board with around where Connor said with a 7. Maybe depending on which episode I watched last, it could be a 6 or an 8. But I think 7 is a really good kind of average score for it.
Yeah, mine is episode 1 an 8, episode 2 a 7, episode 3 an 8, episode 4 a 2, episode 5 a 9, and episode 6 a 9, and that equals to 7.1. So 7 out of 10 for me.
It's interesting because I had episode 4 higher ranked than you. I gave it a 5. I actually enjoyed episode 4 first run through. Are there a lot of problems? Yeah, betcha, which is why I got that 5 out of 10. But it was such a slick, fast-paced produced show. The writing and the suspension of disbelief is really what dragged down episode 4. That you can just stroll into one of the most heavily armed Imperial bases and grab a senator's daughter who is being held by very powerful Force users. Oh, and then hide her under your jacket, like a PlayStation or something. Just walk out of the building.
I think people. I think people.
He Fozzie Beared it out of there.
Yeah, I was talking to Jonathan today, and we both agreed that this is his point, which is a great point. Is he does not think that Disney, Star Wars, whatever you want to call it, knows who they're marketing to. And what a lot of older fans are forgetting is Star Wars is for kids. Disney/Star Wars isn't a place where do they cater towards OG fans? Do they cater towards the PowerPoint junkies that like the endorphin hits every time they see their favorite character on screen for 5 seconds? Or are they delving into long storytelling for the lore junkies and the EU people? They've got 3 different roads, and they can't pick one. Mm-hmm. So it's like episode by episode, it changes. Oh, this is a kid's show. Kenobi's carrying around in her jacket. Episode 6, we have, the Avenger-style in-game where dudes throwing rocks with the Force. We've never seen this visually in Star Wars ever. I don't know. I just feel like they can't pick a lane.
Well, but here's my thing. Rebels and Clone Wars. For kids, absolutely. For adults, also absolutely. So they've proven that Star Wars can make that lane work, that it can appeal to everyone. And using your endgame reference, Disney has done a bang-up job of making the MCU accessible to all audiences. So this might be my cynical, cold take, but Disney just needs to get its crap together and find a way to make it. I mean, if Kevin Feige can do it, so can Kathleen Kennedy. She's been in Hollywood for 40 years? Criticize her if you want, but she does have knowledge and she does know what she's doing in some ways. So, I don't hate her for anything, but I think she's capable of much more, especially with Jon Favreau on board now. So that's, to me, also why Kenobi was a letdown. You had a great director. You had a great Hollywood producer. You had so many resources going into this show for such a great character. Like I said, as good as the last two were, and as much as it saved it, those first four, jeez.
First episode
with
is
that
great, man.
talent
You can't say
behind it.
first four.
Yeah,
First
first
I
episode.
enjoyed for the novelty factor, but I don't think it will age well once you watch it as part of the whole show, because you'll go back and be like, what could have been for those episodes in between. I believe I gave episode 1 a 6 or a 7. So
Let's get some. Oh, go ahead, Jordan. Sorry.
Do you guys feel like I don't know if I made this comment on previous episodes, but it kind of feels like they took the show and they knew the first episode and then they knew the last two and then just filled in between. Did you ever get that feeling going through the series again, that they knew where they wanted to start and where they wanted to end, and they just figured out what was going to be in the middle?
I think so, and you got to remember there were a lot of rewrites. I don't know if they were specifically just for the last episode, but they said because it was too similar to Mandalorian with the whole Grogu thing, but we ended up getting Baby Leia. So what were the purpose of the rewrites? Maybe they were trying to fill those gaps, as Jordan said.
Hollywood is suffering from the bear and the cub thing on every platform. I mean, it was just in Doctor Strange. It's the tale of good versus evil. The new one is the bear and the cub. And I'm not saying that I'm necessarily over it, but yes, I do believe that the rumors of the rewrites for, this is too similar to Mandalorian and Grogu, like audiences are tired of it. Yeah. But at the same time, let's get some good in here. Favorite characters. My favorite character, Leia, hands down. I'll adopt that kid. If her parents die... no, she was not. No, she was not.
Running away and like, girl, just stop running away from him.
Well, okay. Let's be honest. All she needed was the backpack with the leash. Okay, that's all she needed.
Yeah, let's run our child, who's actually the daughter of a famous Jedi turned Sith Lord. Just let her run free in the forest. Yeah, nothing could possibly go wrong without guards.
Yeah. No, she was my favorite. I thought the actress did fantastic. Such a great what's the word I'm looking for? Rendition of Leia. Nothing. I wouldn't have expected anything more than what we saw from Kid Leia. So that's my favorite character the whole show.
I think
I enjoyed her at times for sure.
I'm not gonna say obviously Obi-Wan or Anakin / Darth. I feel like they were kind
Do
of
it.
Like
Do it. Do it.
Like we know what they
Do
are.
it.
For sure, my favorite character I think would have to be Tala. I think she was the most interesting. She was the coolest backstory, the coolest story. Like, she was somebody I want more of, but she died. But like, she was awesome.
Yeah,
she like sucked me in for sure.
Yeah, that was my favorite character too. Her Imperial background and seeing the progression of her going from joining the Empire, thinking it was the right thing, going through the traumatic experience that she did hunting down Jedi, to changing and seeing that whole progress and seeing how much it hurt her, but yet she can still be a reliable spy. It was such a great character to be put into the show.
Is that also your favorite character?
Yeah.
What about you, Cynic?
Well, hot take. My favorite character was the corpse of Quinlan Vos. No, so I think Tala was great.
He's dead. 100% dead. My guy is as dead as everybody else in that amber.
He's dead as the dodo, man, as they used to say back in the day. So no, I did like Tala. I'd say she's my second favorite, but you know what? I'm gonna go with Darth Vader. You can say that's cliche or whatever, but here you're saying stop going the Skywalker saga well. Well, they went to that well, and there was still water. From Hayden Christensen and from Anakin Skywalker and from Darth Vader, and James Earl Jones. You put those factors together and you got them all together, and somehow, some way, you still brought more complexion to both Anakin Skywalker and Darth Vader. You improved his arc. You gave him more backstory, and that's so hard to do. As Justin said, it's hard to do with legacy characters. They got baggage. You got the books, you got the comics, you got the movies. Nah, Darth Vader knocked it out of the park. Everyone who went into that writing, acting, and the voiceover, thank you so much. Favorite character, hands down, of the show.
Well, speaking of favorite character, are we all gonna have episode 6 as our favorite episode? Because that's our next subject is favorite episode, and by far, episode 6 for me. I'm not even gonna go into it. I'll let somebody else talk.
I mean, I agree. Not to hog the spotlight or talk too much, but man, episode 6. As I said, can I use slightly unfriendly adult language in this podcast, or is this still family friendly?
I mean, how unfriendly! You about to curse somebody out? Yeah, PG-13.
Just PG-13.
And that doesn't mean you get one F word.
Let's just quote Ian Malcolm here. He did it. Those sons of a bitches actually did it.
Yeah.
Disney made the best piece of Star Wars content since Rogue One. Don't at me.
For what, episode 6?
Episode 6. It was true Star Wars. It was a piece of canon. It was Star Wars lore at its finest. It had everything you wanted. Great dialogue, cheesy moments of emotion, an amazing duel. I mean, yeah. Thank you, Disney. After 8 out of 10 tries, you finally got it right.
8 out of 10 tries.
Well, what about you, Justin?
I'm going to go episode 1 just to have something different, because the part about it that I did enjoy was seeing broken Obi-Wan and just like how it just wrecked him and who he was, like down to his core values pretty much, and his connection to the Force. Because like just getting to see like end of Revenge of the Sith and the battle and the "you were my brother, Obi-Wan," and how like just upset he was there, and then Padme dying, and then like it didn't get better for him. Like it's not like he went to Tatooine and just like did his thing. Like he was still hard PTSD, dreaming nightmares about it. Like I enjoyed I guess that's weird to say I enjoyed that, but like that was good storytelling. It was good character building for the character.
And one thing I agree with you there is how they, a lot of fans were unhappy about this because it took till episode 4, but it kind of hindered his ability to use the Force to contact Qui-Gon, to be a powerful Jedi like he was. It actually reminded me of one of my favorite character arcs of Legends, The Exile. She had so much pain and trauma in one moment, she had to cut herself off from the Force in order to survive it. So Obi-Wan wasn't completely cut off, but it fits with that running theme that when Force users go through something very traumatic, they have to either minimize or even cut off their contact with the Force. And it also made sense because, hey, if Vader's trying to sense Obi-Wan through the Force, as obsessed as he was, Obi-Wan accessing it would be a big neon light saying, come get me. Yeah, so good credit to Deborah Chow and the writers for getting that right off the bat in episode 1.
Absolutely. Episode 5 for me was just a really, really well done episode. I loved getting Reva's backstory. We kind of knew it, but to see it and to see the emotion she went through. Also, going back and forth between flashbacks, with Anakin and Obi-Wan, and seeing how they knew each other still, and that connection that they had, and spending all that time together, they knew how each person was going to be doing. They knew the next person's actions. Of course, Tala and her story. You get more from that. I absolutely loved episode 5. 6 is great, and it's an all-timer, but 5 did so much to kind of start wrapping things up and answering some questions that I really loved that episode.
How did we feel about Deborah Chow's directing? So we've seen her direct before in Mandalorian seasons 1 and 2, but she directed this entire show. Does anybody have anything notable to mention, or would you like to see Deborah direct again?
I think she did awesome in Mandalorian, and I think that I don't know if it's the directing so much that was holding this back as much as writing and executive production. I think if she had those two things, there was nothing wrong with her directing and the way she was telling the story. I just think she suffered of not the best story, and honestly.
you
go
can
ahead,
tell that from the
Casualty.
cinematography, and you can tell it from the settings that they were in. Everything, they built great worlds, and we got to go to several new planets that were all unique. I really liked the way that she presented the show, and yeah, like you said, Justin, I really felt like it was writing in Hollywood that got in her way. So I would love to see her do more stuff.
And I have questions for this because I didn't realize this until I Googled it. This show had 4 executive producers.
Yikes.
That is
many chefs in the
way,
kitchen.
way too much. Kathleen Kennedy, Michelle, I'm going to say the last name wrong, so I'm not even going to try. Deborah Chow and Ewan McGregor. I did know that Ewan had a lot of say in the show, but I didn't realize he was executive producing.
I'm sure a lot of for you, and I mean, once you get to a certain point in your career as an actor, you just get your name as a executive producer. if you're
Yeah,
involved in
honorary
a
title.
project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, towards his end
I mean,
of
I'm
Star
sure he
Trek,
loves the
Gene
character.
Roddenberry, executive consultant, but he was hardly on set, towards the end of his life. It was just hey, thank you for everything you've done. So maybe that
Yeah.
was the case with Ewan and Kathleen.
yeah, no, it makes sense. My biggest takeaway from Deborah is I definitely think she can crack at Star Wars more, but a lot of the show was shot in free cam. And it might just be a me
you were
thing
saying
because
that.
when I tell this to a lot of people don't realize it. So again, it's me. I love watching movies. I don't love watching movies that do this
Cloverfield.
all the time.
The second Bourne
Oh my
movie.
gosh. Guys, we have tripods. We have giant electronic arms. Why are we shooting in freehand in 2022? It doesn't look good. It's right in certain settings, like when people are having
chase.
a chase, very intimate, heavy conversations. But a lot of this show was shot in free cam, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like why is the screen shaking? Why? And I don't know. It's just again, that could be a me thing, as you can tell by my over dramatic shaking of my actual camera. But that's how I felt in the show. It detracted so much from it, and I think it is a terrible directing choice to ever do free cam. I don't get it.
You're not dramatic.
Not at all.
I mean, I'm the cynic, so nothing compares, in terms of drama.
True.
Let's say this. I have a view of things. To me, the director is like the captain of the ship. It could be some grunt down at the boiler room who screwed things up, but it ends up falling back on you. So my things with the show were, as Justin said, the writing, and similar to your complaint, I think the cinematography, it was too dark, especially the last episode. I was having to turn up the brightness on my TV. I shut all my blinds, turned off the lights, and it's still so dark I can barely make out Obi-Wan in the beginning when he lands on the planet. I don't know what Deborah Chow was thinking, and if it was the cinematographer's fault, well, that kind of falls back on her. I mean, it may be a harsh take, but I think as a director, she's great, and what she did for The Mandalorian was awesome, but the inconsistency in the show with everything I just mentioned, to me, that falls back on her. But she'll learn. She's fantastic. She's talented. Nothing against her personally. But if they could have fixed the writing and then the cinematography, and then also, I don't agree with, call me cynical, I don't agree with Casual Kid, that they added so many great planets. I thought Daya was just Coruscant 2.0, but, the ghetto of Coruscant, and then the
Yeah, they literally
planet.
could have just gone to 1313.
Right. And then the mining planet. Come on. Yes, we know you just drove out 2 hours to Death Valley from Hollywood and filmed it
Yes,
there.
they did.
Come on.
Yeah.
What happened to the days of Felucia and Camino? I mean, look how far we've
I'll
fallen.
tell you what happened. This show had a budget that was 25% of Mandalorian. That's
No
what happened.
way.
100%.
confirmed?
Look it up. Yes, look it up.
Oh my goodness. Okay, come on, Kathleen Kennedy. I defended you earlier. What were you thinking now? Pull budgets from all those stupid Marvel projects like Eternals and stuff and put it on Kenobi.
Justin, you got something to say. I can see it. And it's not just because there's a box going around your face the whole time.
I still think though that budget thing is because they built the volume with the Mandalorian. I don't think that
I don't buy it.
Production.
Don't buy it. You have your greatest character, generational character, most hyped, anticipated Star Wars show, even more than I'd say Mandalorian, and you give it 25% of Mandalorian. Like, I mean,
there's no way, Justin, because they built more sets for Obi-Wan than they did for Mandalorian.
Yeah, there was a lot of.
That's not cheap. Sets. A lot of live action sets, like. Well, thanks for joining us this week. No, it's just biggest missed opportunity. Now, I actually don't have a lot to say on this, and the reason for that is because I had a little thing about valid criticism and invalid criticism, and talking about things that we didn't see that we wanted to see is not valid criticism of the show. Would I have loved to see a Shad Het? Sure. But we didn't. So I can't say, oh, the show sucked because I didn't see the Shad Het. I guess biggest missed opportunity is, for me, would just be more time Hayden in prosthetic makeup being out of suit Vader. We see Vader in Empire without the helmet. We know that he can exist without the helmet for a certain period of time. Have you guys seen that fan art where Vader has his helmet off and he's in his throne chair from Empire and all the zombie Jedis are behind him and it's like tormenting him?
I have not.
I'll send the picture out later. But anyway, I would have liked to have seen more inner monologue with Hayden. I think Hayden was extremely underused in the show, and that's what led to the cash grab or cash cow comment that I made earlier with the show. Is the PR for this show was insane. I thought that this was just going to be Hayden and Ewan 14 hours every episode, 10 episodes, and it wasn't. So biggest missed opportunity is just more time with Hayden. We got a decent amount of time with Ewan, but not enough time with Hayden.
I agree with that. I think that's a perfect, I don't know if I want to call it a criticism, but like a wish we would have gotten it type of a thing.
A missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Them not being actual hour-long episodes. That was that.
Which the PR also said.
Yeah. That was such a missed opportunity, especially for episodes where you needed a little more time to do more stuff. Like episode 4, they could have added so many extra things, padded it, not even padded it, just...
No, padded is a great word.
They could have put more in there. You know, if you're going to kill Quinlan Voss, don't have him be this small little thing in the background, actually be like, oh my goodness, he's here. You know, that kind of thing. So, that was a missed opportunity in my eyes, is to just have a little more content and not have the episode range of time be all over the place.
Yeah.
That's
Tyler,
shows,
Cynic.
though, lately.
Yeah.
So, call this my cynical take.
Let's get a positive one after this, Tyler. Jesus Christ. Jesus,
man,
dude.
I have my role, and I'm going to play it, okay? The biggest missed opportunity for me, and it might sound silly, was the Inquisitors. So, Reva, actress, fantastic actress. We saw the range in episode 6. Where was that? We also saw
Queen's Gambit.
Yeah, and also we saw these other two Inquisitors and the Grand Inquisitor. They were basically chess pieces, but stationary the whole show. They would just show up, say some threatening words to Reva, like, oh, you're disobeying the Grand Inquisitor. I expected some fights. I expected some showdowns between Obi-Wan trying to outrun these Inquisitors. You know, even if they weren't full-on duels, some interaction. If you think about it, the only Inquisitor who actually interacted at all with Kenobi was Reva. Go back and rewatch the show. Yep. None of the other 3 did. They were just stage props, and it's a shame because you had great actors, you had great Star Wars lore to draw on, and you're just, I don't know, ignoring them.
No, Fifth Brother was awesome.
See him. Yeah, he's an awesome
Fifth
character,
Brother was awesome. and I was so happy to seeing Kang Soo be fifth brother. Missed opportunity was him not eating something from the Star Wars universe. Justin, you didn't hear this, but I know you're gonna have some.
I was refilling my beer.
Yeah. The biggest missed opportunity: Kang Soo not eating something when he was on screen. Yeah,
God, yes.
Huge missed opportunity. I mean,
opportunity wasn't him in a speeder race with Tokyo Drift playing.
Exactly.
He needs
exactly. He needs a
race,
toothpick,
pod race.
something, a pod race. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the Inquisitors and
Underused, underwritten. That's
for sure,
simple.
and a lot of people give Riva a really, really hard time in this show, and I don't think it's all warranted. I think some of it is warranted, not all of it. If we copy and pasted Riva into a Inquisitor show, 10 out of 10 character. Isn't really an Inquisitor, former Jedi, wants revenge on Vader, fantastic. But you put her in Kenobi, where the show is literally called Obi-Wan Kenobi, and she is sharing screen time that rivals Kenobi, it doesn't fit.
No, Kenobi deserved the most screen time, but I still wanted to see him kick those Inquisitors down a peg or two.
Seeing them
Interaction.
fight.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a fight, but even a verbal sparring or forced match, just something. But instead, they're just telling Riva, "You better not do this," or "Wait till your dad gets home." Like, come on.
I mean, it was exciting when we had that one little moment where was it fifth brother? Or was it the Grand Inquisitor that like forced
pulls her down
on the table? Yeah, that was like like more of that.
Fifth brother, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Will we get a season 2?
I sweet God hope not.
Yeah,
No.
Go away. I
go
like that
away.
one. I like that one post that like season 2 is just A New Hope.
Yeah. It's like, here's my pitch for season 2. It's like Obi-Wan Kenobi with the help of Luke Skywalker rescue Princess Leia from the Death Star.
And Darth
And Darth Vader. Yeah, it was hilarious. There's 100% going to be a season 2.
Don't say
100%.
that, Come on.
100%. I'm not saying it because I want it. There's 100% going to be a season 2.
What is he doing?
Milk that
Training
cow
his
dry.
Eope?
Yes.
Okay, I will say, I will not have a problem with a season 2 if it's a mostly flashback to live action Clone Wars.
Okay.
I don't even know if I want that. I want new
What?
Star Wars. I want new Star Wars.
yeah.
I have the Clone Wars. I don't need the flashbacks in live action. Don't need it. Don't want it.
But
Don't
more
need it.
More hate.
Nope. Don't need it. Don't
Our
want it.
hearts have warmed up to him. Come on, man.
You
I'm
know what?
nursing my cold heart for this actor because I want him back.
But that could
Okay.
also be ruined with a second season.
True. I mean, Kathleen Kennedy could just go off the rails at this point.
Well, and the thing too is like when we see the pictures of Vader and we see all the stuntmen in the Vader suits, I'm like, how much Hayden was even on screen? Again, and that's where I said a big missed opportunity was not necessarily Clone Wars flashbacks, but having this constant struggle between Anakin and Darth Vader that we see in Episode 6, and having this inner monologue with Hayden Christensen, having him deliver lines. It didn't have to be James Earl Jones the entire time until the last episode. They literally went on a PR media tour across the entire world with Hayden, and he was in the show for 37 seconds. Go count it. It's 37 seconds. Come on.
37 seconds? I mean, did you count the flashbacks in episode 5? Because I'm pretty sure those were like
No, you're right.
30
You're right.
seconds to a minute long.
I was talking on the Vader aspect of it, like him.
76% of statistics are made up on the spot anyway.
Yes.
What Justin
Well, yeah.
That got me.
That did get him. Yeah. Jordan Evelyn Mosby. All right, let's wrap up this discussion. I got a final question. A lot of people have the audacity to say that this show breaks canon.
No.
And the Cynic said something that was very, very important earlier, which I was surprised to hear from the Cynic. This show actually very, very much enriches A New Hope. very, very, very much between the relationship between Vader and Obi on a huge scale. If you do not believe that is true, you're not watching Star Wars. I don't know what you're watching. You're watching something else.
Yeah,
you're watching something else. I don't know what you're watching.
I agree. Episode 6 adds weight. I think.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Two episode 4, A New Hope. No. A lot of people said that like the when I left you, I was but the learner. Now I am the master. Said that this show didn't do that. That it ruins this, like you mentioned, suspension of disbelief. That's a huge thing that we talk about on the podcast very often. It just didn't make sense, and that's just not true. It's not true. It's very clear that Obi-Wan manhandles Vader, making that statement in A New Hope completely and utterly true.
All right, because Vader was still falling prey to the same mistakes. I agree there. And if you allow me to go off on a monologue here, because I don't get screen time very often with your amazing podcast.
Send it.
But yeah, I agree in some aspects. I don't know if break is the word, but bend, yes. My cynical
what you talking about, Willis?
My cynical take is putting Leia in the show to begin with was a mistake. If you think about it, the way Leia acted in episode 4, I'm not talking about the hologram message. You can you can bend it and contrive it, and it could probably work. But she sees Obi-Wan die as well, and she's comforting Luke. She should be the one sad, that the person who rescued her at 10, who rescued her droid, who she got close to in a period of just a few days, is gone. And I think the way I look at it is if you have to bend and contrive to justify something in a script in terms of canon or continuity, I don't think it should be there. That's just my opinion. Call it cynical. I don't want to have to go through my head like, well, it could work if this, and this are assumed or bended or bent or whatnot. And so I think, was the juice will make that squeeze? That's my motto. Was the juice worth the squeeze? Was Leia really worth having in the show to bend canon? Some may say yes.
But people will then make that exact same thing that you just said for things that they didn't like. So,
I mean, I liked Leia as the
actor. No. What I mean by that
show.
Yeah, but okay, so she doesn't belong in the show, and she should have had more of a visceral reaction than Luke does in A New Hope. So everyone can say that. What everyone doesn't talk about is these movies were written in '77 for kids. What people also don't talk about is that in George's original writing, Leia was the chosen one, not Luke. So we have to find a happy medium of it was never intended to be this way, and that's why we need to get away from the Skywalkers.
Quit messing with it.
That is why.
Well, I agree there in some sense. But, like I said, if you're writing a script and you're trying to fit it with the rest of the Star Wars universe, like I said, if in your head you have to make multiple excuses why this line or this scenario or this character showing up will fit, you're trying to jam the piece in the puzzle where it doesn't belong. And like I said,
I'm not jamming anything, but I'm not jamming or excusing anything. I can make it make sense.
Well, and I think if it's entertaining enough, then yeah, the juice is worth the squeeze. But in this case, Leia, yes, I enjoyed her acting, but I don't think she overall enhanced the show so much that it was worth bending, not breaking, but bending, some canon to get her in there. I think the other issue is that I just kept thinking about every episode, and call it nitpicking. I mean, I am the cynic. Bail Organa asked Obi-Wan to rescue his daughter. Reva knows how to lure Obi-Wan out of hiding because he knew he was close to Bail Organa during the Clone Wars. Why doesn't Darth Vader go to Alderaan right after episode 6? Because clearly, if that's what lured Obi-Wan out of hiding, and Darth Vader's not an idiot,
I'm so glad you asked this question.
Yeah, now how did he not put it together like, wow, Bail Organa is in contact with Obi-Wan Kenobi? I could just go interrogate Bail. I don't think Bail would, give in under pressure. He'd probably die before he gave it the location. But either way, the Emperor and Darth Vader say, you know what? We know Bail Organa is obviously in contact with Obi-Wan because his daughter's kidnapping lured him out of hiding. So let's just leave him as a senator for another 10 years.
Because the Senate.
Every turn.
You just said it. You just said it.
Right.
No, you just said it. The Senate. No, you're wrong. The Senate is still. Yes, you are. The Senate is still in place.
But
and it is
Star Wars resources. They've killed Darth Vader killed senators in books because he knew they were traitors.
It's said in A New Hope that they finally got rid of the Senate. And in this show, in episode 2, the Grand Inquisitor literally tells Reva, "You can't do this. We have rules to abide by. The Senate is still in place. The Empire cannot."
He was an actual traitor, which they did at this point. In the books and comics, they've executed and tortured senators despite the Senate existing in the so-called rules. Because they were a traitor. They were clearly part of the Rebel Alliance. He did it in New Hope. He did it to Princess Leia. He arrested her and tortured her before the Senate was dissolved. Because at the very beginning, he said, "You are a member of the Rebel Alliance."
What, Justin?
Yeah, so...
This is you know what this no you can do the monologue, but that is invalid criticism because you're talking about things that don't happen on screen.
All right, guys.
We can only go based on what happens on screen.
I just had to get it off my chest, man. Okay, I've been holding it for 5 weeks. All right.
Cynic's therapy session.
Yes.
Oh man.
Sounds like a bonus episode of what grinds my gears.
Jordan and Justin, do you understand where I'm coming from? In the comics and books, if a senator was truly a traitor, not blurred lines, not I suspect he's a traitor. Like, remember, it's not canon anymore, but the Darth Vader novel by James Luceno.
Oh, it's not what anymore?
They found...
It's not what anymore? I'm sorry. I didn't hear that. Are my headphones turned up? Oh, they are. My bad. They're not what?
Canon. This is just one example, though.
Okay.
Fang Zar was found in Alderaan collaborating. And if you don't remember who Fang Zar is, he's the guy with the weird beard in the episode 3 deleted scenes. And he had like the man bun. He was found on Alderaan collaborating with Bail Organa, and Darth Vader just did him in right on the spot. You're done. You're done. And there was still a Senate. There's still rules. I'm just saying it's incredulous that Darth Vader and the Emperor, knowing this, would allow Bail Organa to undermine him at every turn for 9 years. If you want to get rid of someone like Real World, the CIA finds a way to get rid of someone. They cover it up. Everyone buys the public story. Like, come on. That was my only thing. I just think throwing Leia in there just threw too many contrivances and excuses to bend everything, including the Bail Organa scenario. I wouldn't say it broke canon, though. I will agree there. But that's my monologue. I think it bent, but not completely broke it, and you can decide if it was worth it based on the quality of the show or not.
She was much more interesting than watching Luke build sandcastles, because that dumb idiot of a character would have added nothing to the story.
No, I didn't want Luke in there either, believe me. The cameos we got of Luke were great, but I didn't want him as a central pawn like Grogu or Leia. Like you said, we've had enough of Luke, and it also kind of would have ruined Luke's vibe in episode 4, because Lars is like, that guy's just a crazy old wizard. Stay away from him. So it implied that Luke had barely saw Obi-Wan. He's wondering, like, well, why can't I see Ben Kenobi? You know? So
yeah, the brief meeting they had, I thought was perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm done ranting. Feel free to criticize, respond. Go for it.
Justin, come on. You gotta have something.
Got nothing.
No, you don't even. I will kick you off the goddamn podcast if you don't say something right now.
I think it's because he agrees with me, but he's afraid.
He absolutely does not agree with you, and that's why I'm waiting for him to say something. This dude is trying to act like he's tired and all this stuff.
Oh, man.
What about you, Jordan? I'm sure you got a take on it. Come on.
I think
this show was great.
Oh my!
Okay.
Wow.
Here's
right here.
Here's the thing, and it's
Justin, you just need to take Justina's Cantina out, because if you don't even have anything to say, like, holy freaking crap.
Here's the thing. I get your points, and it's valid. All of it's valid. Where yes, the Empire should have the power to be able to just get rid of Bail Organa.
They don't have the power yet.
But
they do.
It's displayed in all the movies.
Yeah.
But I don't have enough Star Wars background knowledge. I am the
He's
casual
fan.
kid, the casual fan.
The casual fan.
And as the casual fan, I wasn't bugged by any of that. Honestly, I wasn't.
Yeah.
I did enjoy the story. I wasn't crazy about using Leia, and you're right, her not having the visceral reaction when Obi-Wan dies. Yeah, it was kind of felt a little weird. But at the same time, a point we've made in a previous episode was she was a little kid. You may not remember
Right. You don't
everything.
remember
I don't
everything at
remember
10.
every interaction I've had with everybody, even big events. I don't remember half of those from when I was
Right.
10.
I try to forget you guys every day.
Yeah.
I
think my point was Leia worth having the show based on the quality of the show? Like I said, if it's an amazing show, you can even break canon if it's an amazing piece of lore, regardless of what franchise or universe it is. That in itself doesn't bother me. But if you're breaking canon for it only to be mediocre or below, it's like, was it really worth it to, make us like...
She was necessary from it in this sense. We weren't getting Luke going on some crazy adventure.
No.
And I didn't want that.
But
believe me.
Leia going on this crazy adventure makes sense. And it's the only thing that would have gotten him off the planet.
Yep.
Even
So
that,
again-
maybe a Jedi pleading for help. I know the way they wrote him in episode 1 was like, we've lost, hide, go away. But maybe, look at Fallen Order, Cal Kestis. He risked his life to save younglings or potential Force users he didn't even know. So I think, if you could have written it that way in the show, like maybe Obi-Wan finds out that there's hidden Jedi children or something like that, that if he doesn't leave hiding, no one will, and they'll fall victim. There was other ways I think they could have done it. I did enjoy parts of Leia, don't get me wrong, but I just, like I said, I hate to repeat this phrase, but ask yourself, was the juice worth the squeeze?
I mean, for my cocktail,
would you guys have rather this show been more in line with the Kenobi novel, which is, stakes are dropped way lower, and it's more of just Kenobi fighting some Tuskens and relationships with people around Tatooine, and
No,
I said
Homestead is off in the distance. Like,
I said this from day one. I would have watched Ewan McGregor act like Bear Grylls and eat the eyes out of an Niobe rather than the show that we got. I would have rather watched him piss in some sand and turn it into filtered water. Yes, I would have rathered the Kenobi book.
Because I feel like they had to do one or the other. Because if he's leaving Tatooine, like Connor said, the only way you're going to get him leaving his sentry post is to take care of the other half of what they're guarding. So that was really the only option if it wasn't going to be Luke. So then it's either it's going to be that story, or it's going to be a way lower stakes, no chance of having the Vader or any other Force users probably, and just mundane life on Tatooine, which I would have been honestly fine with.
I think we have too much Tatooine, and I think there's a good middle road. I just Googled it because I just remembered something I want to bring up in this. So I hate to go back to Legends. I know, bury it, it's a zombie. But if any of you remember,
I love that.
There was a Ferris Olin. He was a Padawan, and he was part of like the young adult book series that they would do, like the old Obi-Wan Qui-Gon series.
The new,
they
new Jedi ones?
200-page books. No, there was a book series that was set. I don't remember the name.
Jedi Apprentice. Jedi Apprentice
that was the
series.
first one, and then there was a series set right after Revenge of the Sith with this guy who was also in those series called Ferris Olin. He was a Padawan, and he survived the Purge, and Obi-Wan found out that he desperately needed help to escape the Empire. So in that children's book, Obi-Wan does make an exception because he says the exact same reaction as he said to Bail, I can't leave, but he realizes Ferris needs his help. He leaves. He actually meets up with the young Boba Fett. They help Ferris. He helps Ferris Olin escape because Boba Fett wants the bounty on him since he's a Jedi Padawan. He's worth so much. And then Obi-Wan's like, I'm done. I can't keep leaving like this. There's something important back at Tatooine. So there were other ways they could have gotten him off the planet other than Leia. Again, perspective, whether Leia was worth it to you or not, that's a personal opinion. But there were other paths. It didn't have to be on Tatooine, which Book of Boba Fett was. I'm done with the desert planet. So.
Justin is too.
Mm-hmm. Been done with that show. I've been done with that dang planet since freaking.
Since it got reintroduced
like-
into Mandalorian.
So
Yeah.
bored with it.
So over it. Guys, I think that's pretty much wrapped it up.
Yep.
I got
Wow.
one sip of beer left. That's perfect timing.
Yeah.
We had some goods, we had some bads. Again, season 2, it is everything but confirmed. I have no doubts that we will be getting season 2. Guys, at this point, just letting you know, we probably will be taking a brief break and probably going to our every other week regular release Patreon. Members, don't forget, you too will be still getting 4 episodes a week, but general public will only be getting 2 episodes a month. Patreon, you will be getting 4. Yes, 2 episodes a month. General public, 2.
A week is a lot.
Yeah,
Did I say? Is that what I said?
He said 4 a week.
Oh, my bad. Justin's like, I'm out. 2 episodes a month for the general public, 4 episodes for our Patreon. Guys, of course, we'll be covering Andor's coming up. We are so excited for Bad Batch
Less than
Season
2
2.
months,
Justin cannot wait for Bad Batch Season 2. I mean, he's been telling me every day how
He is
excited
tick.
he is to see Omega again.
Tick.
We
I
you,
haven't
Tick?
seen Bad Batch season 1.
What, Jordan?
I was going to say that we're going to be doing Mystery Science 3000 for Bad Batch Season 2, right? That's what's going to be happening.
Dude, we can so do that. We can so
Season
do
1
that.
that bad?
We weren't fans of it. There's a lot of people who really do like it. We're actually in the minority for not liking it. It's not that it's not good. I think it is a good animated show. It's just the overall where the story started didn't continue and follow through with where it was going. But that could change in season 2. Again, we're looking at it from a vacuum. We don't know how many seasons Bad Batch is supposed to be. But guys, thank you for joining us on this week of ConCon's Cantina. I was your boy, it's ConCon, and sitting to my left,
The Casual Kid.
and sitting left adjacent, and sitting below me.
The Star Wars Cynic.
I will not,
Guys.
sir.
Mark 2020.
Guys, we will catch you next time. Goodbye.